A few days ago, on June 7th, it seemed like it was just another day. Everyone was preparing for the 1.17 update, which was releasing tomorrow, and nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Then, kind of out of nowhere, a new server popped up on the Minecraft Bedrock featured servers list, and right then and there, the Minecraft Bedrock Edition server community went into a frenzy. It was quickly found out that this server was actually owned by InPvP, the same people who own the Bedrock server Mineville. People also found the name of the server and some of the games that would be on it by digging through the game files, and there were some rumors and false information that was spread as well. Look, it's a mess, and I'm gonna try and explain it all in this video. I'll go over everything that we already know about the server, discuss my thoughts on it, and talk about what this means for the Minecraft Bedrock Edition server community overall. Be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're a fan of my content, and enjoy. So, if I were you, I would take this video with a grain of salt. Nothing about this server is 100% confirmed yet, other than maybe the fact that it's owned by InPvP because there's multiple pieces of evidence to support it. A lot of this video is either going to be speculation or discussion based on my own opinion and reasoning, so just keep that in mind when you're watching. Now, with all of that being said, let's first get into talking about everything that we already know about this server. Obviously, we should start with the name. It's going to be called Pixel Paradise. After looking through the game's files, some people also found the logo for the server, which will be shown on the featured servers page. Next up, I and many others have gone into Minecraft's game files to see what the game actually says about the server. Now, I'm sure many of you guys have seen the screenshot floating around, which basically shows some code-looking stuff that says that the server is owned by InPvP, but if you find that file now, it actually says that the server's creator is Pixel Paradise. I've confirmed to the best of my ability that the screenshot was real and even gotten the files from the first day that show that the server was owned by InPvP, but it's kinda weird how InPvP isn't listed there now, and I'll talk about that a little bit more later in the video. Also, at the bottom, you can see the IP for the server. You can't really do much with it at the moment, you can't connect when you try to, but it's still there and shows that, you know, a server exists. Also, there's some links below this server info, one of which says screenshot and one of which says thumbnail. The one that says thumbnail is just the coming soon image which shows up on the featured servers page, but the one that says screenshot actually has the server's logo right there. I've had a couple of people question whether the logo is real, and this just confirms it. Now, there's also been a few screenshots shared of the games that the server's advertising. I don't think we, the players, were supposed to see this, and it was probably a bug, but there were some screenshots taken of it from when it was able to be seen. The higher resolution images that I'm going to show of the games were also in the game files initially, but were probably removed by Microsoft or InPvP when they realized that we weren't supposed to have access to them. First up on the games list, we've got Islands. To me, this basically seems like it's going to be a Skyblock type game, but on an island surrounded by water instead. It seems like you start out with a tree, some crops, and other essentials like furnaces, chests, and lava. While we're on the topic of islands, I guess I should address the fact that an image was being passed around of an islands pass, but a few people have said that this image is most likely fake and they have a little bit of reasoning to go with it. First off, if you compare the islands in the two images, you can see that they're both structured differently. The island in the pass image kind of spreads out a lot at the bottom, whereas the island in the game image just kind of goes straight down. Another thing that I noticed was that in the pass image, it says that it was being sold by InPvP LLC, whereas everything else on the marketplace is just sold by InPvP. Make whatever conclusion you'd like to make here, but to me, it certainly seems like the pass image is not real. Moving on, however, the second game that we can see on the list of available games is Spleef. Now, Spleef is a classic Minecraft game and has seemingly been around for forever. There's not really too much to say about it here. It seems like it's going to be their mini-game for the server, just kind of as a game that you can compete against other players in. Now finally, the last game that they advertised is Pixel Paradise Resort. To me, it seems like this isn't really going to be much of a game, and it's just going to be their hub where you can do stuff in. It's kind of like the Mineville hub where you can just walk around and do activities and roleplay and stuff, but in a resort setting instead. Regardless, that's pretty much all of the information that's available on Pixel Paradise so far. However, I still would like to talk more about the server and the assumptions that we can make from the info that's currently out there. If you've seen any of the discussion about the server already, basically everyone's thinking that it's just going to be a Mineville clone. Honestly, I would say that it's a pretty fair assumption. I mean, look at it. You've got Islands, which is basically Island Skyblock, and Skyblock already exists on Mineville. You've got the resort, which I still think is just going to be a roleplay sort of hub, which again already exists on Mineville. And then you've got Spleef, which, while it is original, I can't see it pulling huge player counts or being fun to play after a few games anyways. I mean, are you really going to want to play Spleef for more than maybe 30 minutes at a time? I personally don't know many people that would. People have also argued that that Spleef is just about the easiest game mode to make, and that they could literally have a working Spleef done in less than an hour. I personally can't say that I would be able to do it, but from an outsider's perspective, it doesn't seem like it would be a hard game to make at all. This, in turn, has caused some people to say that they think Pixel Paradise is a really lazy server, but I don't think that's a fair assumption to make yet. There are quite literally 4 official screenshots of content on the server, and we don't know what it's actually going to look like yet. All we can make are assumptions which aren't always correct yet. However, another assumption that's been going around quite a lot is that the server is just going to be pay to play like Mineville is. I mean, there's no way of knowing until the server actually releases, but I really wouldn't be surprised if some aspects of the server are pay to play. Even if the screenshot of the islands pass is fake, I can most definitely still see it happening just knowing InPvP in Mineville. Still, this is just an assumption, and don't take this as fact please, because I don't actually know. Now, I want to come back to something that I briefly touched on earlier in the video. Remember when I said that InPvP's name used to be listed as the server's creator, but now it's Pixel Paradise? I'm a little bit suspicious of that, to be honest. Obviously, the community reaction to finding out about Pixel Paradise was generally negative, in part due to the InPvP name being associated with the server. You have to wonder if InPvP removed their name from the server just because of that negativity. Also, speaking of negativity, I should probably talk about that a little bit more here. Obviously, I've kind of already said don't call it trash until you've given it a try, but also realize that as a Hive or CubeCraft or Galaxite player, you aren't the target audience for InPvP servers like Mineville or Pixel Paradise. The people that play on those servers are a different type of player. They're someone that wants to pay for a certain experience on a server. The games aren't really being designed with Hive Skywars players in mind, they're being designed for a completely different type of experience. Yes, I know I've roasted Mineville multiple times in the past, but that was me playing it from a Hive player's perspective. I know that Mineville isn't really designed for me or for players like me, and those videos in the past should be taken for entertainment value. Just thought I should put that out there since I've seen legitimate hate directed towards Pixel Paradise and Mineville from players that don't really understand. Now, let's get into the part of the video that I think a lot of you guys are waiting for, the potato pie opinion. If I'm being honest, I don't see myself playing on this server much just from the stuff that we see already. Obviously, I'm gonna try it out, I'll probably end up making a video on it at some point, but from what we have right now, it doesn't seem like a server that would be extremely entertaining for me. Again, I need to keep reminding myself and you guys, however, that things can change with a server and it's not always going to be the same as it's advertised initially or as it releases initially. Remember Galaxite initially? It most definitely wasn't in the greatest state, but now it's doing alright for itself and has some pretty fun games. There's definitely a chance that the same thing could happen for Pixel Paradise eventually as well, and it could be an actual enjoyable server to play on. I just don't know because there's very limited info on it, and the info that we've had has only been out for 3 days so far. I guess what I'm going to say is that I'll try my best to be as cautiously optimistic as possible, and while my expectations aren't the highest at the moment, there's always a chance that they could be exceeded eventually. We will just have to wait and see, however, because there's no known release date for the server at this time. I hope you all enjoyed this video detailing what we already know about Pixel Paradise and all of the speculation about it so far. If you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to my channel. It helps keep me motivated to make more good content like this and would just be greatly appreciated. Also, if you've got any thoughts of your own or more information about Pixel Paradise, let me know in a comment. I'll definitely be reading as many as I can. Also, before we end, I'd like to give a huge shout out to all of my YouTube channel members. They support me for $4.99 a month and they get some cool perks like getting their name displayed at the end of every video that I post on YouTube. If you'd like to check out what other perks they have or become a member for yourself, you can do so by clicking the join button next to the subscribe button or by clicking the members link in the description. Thank you once again to all of my generous members for your support, and thank you so much for watching this video. Once again, I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.